Before we start the video, just got to let you know apparently UC Investments has done a big old pause on the deal with the Big Ten, mainly because this dude named Acker, this chancellor or whomever from Michigan, is a big crybaby. Just, I can't believe it. They're going to go and do this without us. Ah! How can Michigan stay in the Big Ten? Ah! And, that kind of thing. So UC Investments is like, hey, let's put a little pause on it. Let's, someone put some salve on old baby's tush, until that rash, that little bitch ass rash dries up and all that. So I just wanted to put that out there because the content of this video is a little, whatever. But I'm still putting it forward, so enjoy the crap. Hey, thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today we're going to talk about the big future of the Big Ten. They are on the verge of signing a deal with UC Investments. We should find out sometime this week, maybe a week or two after. Who knows how long the crap gets dragged out. But there should be a vote. I'm fully expecting a vote on this deal. It should pass, especially with Ohio State on board. And Ross Dillinger put out a great article clearing the air, as he said, because there's been a lot of lying bastards throwing out BS propaganda. We're talking national journalists here. Other folks have been, Greg Flugar from College Football's Peek Around the Corner has been all over it. But to my standards, he's been nice about it. All right, and he's called these guys out. He's called out national media, called out names of national media, as well he should. I'm not going to throw out any names. It's because I don't give a damn about their name. All right. It's not because I don't want to call them out. I don't care. I just don't care to know their name. That's all. I'm going to let Greg Flugar bury those people in that way. I'm going to do things in my way, which is screw the national media. They have their own interest in mind. See, they want to roll back the clock. They want the Pac-12 back. They want the regionality back. We want to be what it was. Well, it's not going back, dumbasses. And the closest way they can get to it is a Super League. We're talking a Project Rudy style Super League. And if the Big Ten does this deal with UC Investments, that's 20 years grant of rights. That means the Super League bullshit, the Project Rudy stuff is dead. Now, I don't know what the hell the government's going to do. There's a bunch of jackasses, all right, that we hire every 2 to 4 years or 6 years if it's senators, and they're working on some BS, and some of them are trying to do a Super League kind of thing. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can compel all these private schools to be part of it if they don't want to be part of it. So we'll see how that all works out. But Mr. Ross Dillinger did say, as far as Ohio State is concerned, they're not fully on board yet. Well, yeah, they are. They talked to USC and Michigan trying to get them on board with it. But what they're going to do now, because now they have maximum leverage. All the smaller brands of the Big Ten and even mid-level brands of the Big Ten are all hanging on Ohio State's jock now, because they're the big hero of the day. They're the big monster brand. All apologies to USC and Michigan. Ohio State's a big monster freaking brand. Maybe Michigan's right there. Can't say they're not. They're right there. But Ohio State is the one trying to save the Big Ten from a possible Super League future being ripped apart. That's what they're doing. And that's what all the smaller brands and mid-tier brands in the Big Ten want. They don't want this thing to be ripped apart because they don't know where they're going to be, where they're going to fall. all right, which is probably pretty far from where they are right now. They're lofty perch in the Big Ten. Ohio State is going to protect them. So Big Daddy Ohio State is going to get all the love. If they got maximum leverage. So they're going to go for the most stroke, the most say in the governance of the Big Ten. And you know what? They're going to get it. All right, they're going to get a hell of a lot more say than they used to. And they're going to use that leverage. And they've earned it. Say what you want, but they've earned the right to that. Now they got everybody else on their jock, like I said, loving them for basically saving the Big Ten. There you go. So they're going to have a huge say. Right now they're just playing their leverage. Like I said, they'll be successful at that. And Ohio State, they're going to get what? They're going to get unequal revenue. Now, I don't like unequal revenue. And by the way, I'm not a Big Ten fan. I'm not a fan of any of these Big Ten schools. All right, I'm an outside observer. I'm a Big 12 fan. But you know what? I'm all for Ohio State getting whatever they can get. If they want to do unequal revenue sharing, that's up to them. You know, I kind of don't blame them. It's the big, huge brands in the Big Ten that are bringing the value. All right, market share and all that. USC's got both. All right, Ohio State brings massive ratings. Michigan does as well. So does Nebraska and Penn State. So Oregon and Washington do pretty damn well, and they add in a lot to this thing. A little bit later in the video, I'll tell you whether I think it's a good idea or that on the outside perspective, what do I think that means for the rest of college football. Well, right now, let's just stick with just the Big Ten. Because essentially what they're desperate to do is create a Big Ten enterprises. What does that mean? That means, unlike what the Pac-12 did, all right, one of the big reasons the Pac-12 fell apart, who was negotiating for them? All right, where were they drawing knowledge and experience on negotiating from? Dumbasses in the classroom, school presidents who had no idea what they were doing, and just being dumbasses. I mean, they turned down basically the deal the Big 12 got, and that did them in. They were done because they turned that down. The Big Ten, when they talk about modernizing their conference, that's what Big Ten Enterprises is going to do, because they're going to hire straight up killers, people that come from the private equity world, people who know how to negotiate, not just with your linear partners, but also your big tech partners, your streamers, and not just them, but all your sponsorship deals. And you're going to put all of that together into one huge pot to be divvied out to everybody. That's what I'm talking about, modernizing. Because college football has been behind the times for a very long time. And now they got to unleash a lot of revenue generating ideas that have already been put in place by huge sports leagues in this country. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, all these people. So they got to be able to work those angles. So they got to have professionals, not amateurs, but professionals. Pay them, bring them in, get that kind of knowledge and experience in Big Ten enterprises, so they can maximize their profitability in the Big Ten. That's what it's about. And you're going to get $2.4 billion without USC, without Michigan on board. That's huge. By the way, because of that, this is why UC Investments is doing that, is because there's no way in hell USC and Michigan are going to turn down hundreds of millions of dollars. All right, part of that up front, part of that through these deals with Big Ten Enterprises through 2036. All of it is going to equal hundreds of millions of dollars that they're going to have to leave on the table if they want to skedaddle in 2036. For independence? No, because the Big Ten at that point, the lower brands will make more than USC and Michigan if they go independent. Oh, they'll go to the SEC. USC doesn't have that option. The SEC, nothing against USC, but they're not going to expand their footprint all the way to Southern California. You can hang that in your ass. More than likely, they're not going to expand all the way the hell up north, damn near to Canada, in Michigan. They're not going to do that shit either. They're fine with border states, but it better be the southern border. So Big Ten Enterprises is going to be the center of the Big Ten universe. That's how important it is. Not only in negotiations, but in expansion. Expansion's going to be huge. Part of that, and I'm telling you right now, with the amount of freaking cash that is going to be bestowed upon them from UC Investments, by the way, will not have a super huge voice inside the Big Ten. They're going to have one seat in the Big Ten Enterprises. Not all the lies that have been told, well, this is going to be a debt deal, and all the power is going to be, with UC Investments. Bullshit. What that is, that's Project Rudy. 70 teams, billions of dollars invested. What that is going to look like, it's going to be that billions of dollars. No, that's going to be like a credit card. That's what that's going to be. That's that deal. That's traditional private equity. That's what scares the shit out of all you fans who hate the thought of private equity. That's what Project Rudy is, and that's what all the national media has been pushing for. They've been lying about the UC investment deal because they don't care. They just want their regionality back. We want the same teams playing each other like they've done for 100 years. What are they? Shut up, you whiny bunch of bitches. Tell the truth. Don't just go off what you want. Tell the freaking truth. That's what Ross Dillinger did in this article. Is tell you that this is not a deal like a credit card. There's no debt associated. No debt. So all I'm trying to say here, there's no debt. So if the deal doesn't work out, guess what? UC Investments is just out money. They're screwed. They got no recourse. But their voice, they got one seat in a 10-seat Big Ten Enterprises. That's what they got. So they got to get a lot of big brands on board with them to get things going the way they want them to go. It's not just they have the big swinging D in the conference. No. They get 10%. Well, they're giving you the biggest valuation that anybody was looking. Any other private equity partner out there, potential partner out there, was going to give them. So yeah, they get 10%. Which, with the amount of money that could be generated opening up all the ways, the revenue streams, plus the new media rights deal coming up with the proper expansion, holy shit, they're going to be making tons of money in the Big Ten. It ain't going to hurt at all. They won't miss the 10% going to UC Investments. That's going to be a great deal for them. Expansion. Sorry, get a little sidetracked sometime, but the expansion deal of it. It would not shock me at all if they go and the number one priority becomes money whipping the shit out of Notre Dame. Because all they've done thus far is just invite them in over and over. Oh, come on in. Come on in. Look at all this money you can make. And Notre Dame says, well, we can make pretty close to that on our own. Thank you. We're good. And that's fine. As long as they stay relatively close to what a Big Ten school can make, why not do that? Here's the problem. Now with unequal revenue sharing, you just jumped up another 40 million per year for a school like Notre Dame to come in. Because what's Ohio State going to make? What's their total payout? Right now it's about 100 million a year, right? Somewhere in that neighborhood for the Big Ten, around 100 million, or the projected next couple of years, 100 million. Well, now you can bump that up to about 130, 140. That's what Notre Dame would get. Notre Dame isn't close to 130, 140 right now, and there's no way for them to get that money. I'm sorry, Notre Dame fans. There's no way for you to get that money. And then on the next media rights deal, with trained killers doing your negotiation for you through Big Ten Enterprises, that money's going to come on in at an even accelerated rate than that. Oh, but wait, Notre Dame could go back to NBC. NBC ain't got but so much money because they're paying for their rights to the Big Ten and for Notre Dame. And for Notre Dame. I don't see them unassing so much money that can happen. Plus the ACC money. Because that conference is going to lose their top brands. What's going to happen to that? All of a sudden, Notre Dame can't count on the same payouts that they were counting on from the ACC. Oh, they could do a deal with the Big 12. Sure. But you could add that with what they get from NBC, and you could still be 30, 40, even $50 million a year behind the top Big 10 schools. And that's what you got to measure. You're not trying to make what Rutgers is making. You're trying to make what Ohio State is making, because that's what Notre Dame is worth. So what I'm trying to tell you here, if you want Notre Dame in the Big Ten, it's got to be more than we're the Big Ten. Because that has not worked for decades, trying to get Notre Dame into the Big Ten. With this deal and with unequal revenue sharing, now you can properly money whip the shit out of Notre Dame. And with the ACC looking like it's going to crash and burn, just like the Pac-12 did, where are they going to go? The only logical thing for Notre Dame to do is to not turn down that kind of cash to come to the Big Ten. Because they're not going to be able to get it through independence. Which is why I scoff at USC or Michigan. Because if Notre Dame's not going to be able to keep up, why in the hell would you think USC and Michigan could keep up being independent versus being in the Big Ten and getting the big checks, having the big rivalries with the big ratings and moving forward like that? Because they're not going to do that. And Notre Dame, they love their independence, and I get it. It's a traditional thing and all that, but all things eventually end. This is going to end for Notre Dame. And it solves all their problems, all their scheduling headaches, any kind of money worries they could ever possibly have are gone. They'll still be Notre Dame. They'll still be big time forever. That's just who they are. So, and do I think Notre Dame wants to be part of a Super League? I don't. I really don't. So I think really with this UC Investments, it's almost a lock that Notre Dame will join the Big Ten at that time, because it's not just, hey, now we get a Big Ten badge on the uniform. No, it's now we get hundreds of millions of dollars that we would not have otherwise had unless we joined the Big Ten. You see what I'm saying? You got to pay the freight for the type of team, the type of program, the type of school that Notre Dame is, the type of brand they are. And now the Big Ten will be in a perfect position to get them paid. So it works. And after that, if you look at expansion, you ask Ohio State, who do you want to come with Notre Dame? Do you want UNC? Look at the people you hire in for Big Ten investments. What are they going to tell you? We may need somebody with elevated viewership to really maximize our negotiations in sponsorship and in media rights deals going forward for the next 20 years. UNC may not cut it. Virginia probably won't cut it. Stanford, probably won't cut it. FSU, Clemson, academically they may not fit what Ohio State wants. Who does? Maybe Miami. The best of everything. They get you into Florida. They get you into a giant freaking metropolitan area of Miami. International. And then they got the viewership, they got the brand, they got the tradition, They got the winning. They have won championships. It all fits. Notre Dame, Miami, Big Ten. That'll be their expansion. 20 teams, closed loop. That'll be it. So there you go. And as a Big 12 fan, what do I think of this? I love it. I absolutely love it. Why? Because it protects not just the Big Ten. It doesn't just protect the SEC. It protects the Big 12. That's right, folks. It'll protect the Big 12 as well. Because they're going to do their deal. They're going to do their thing. ACC, they're going to get ripped apart a little at a time. The SEC, they're going to be right there to do some ripping, if you will. And the Big 12, hey, we can use a couple of those schools. There's some value there. Let's get some of that value. Let's find a whole nother four corners block to bring on over here. So yeah, it helps us. And then the future that I want to see isn't a Super League. It's the future of the Big Three, of the Power Three. Yes, the Big 12 is a power conference that will continue to rock and roll right there with the Big Ten and SEC. We won't make their money. We won't get their viewership. We won't get their sponsorship deals. But by God, we'll have the best Tier 2 brands in the country fighting it out every year. You never know who's going to win this bitch. And in basketball, it'll be elite of the elite. So, let's go. Come on, Ohio State. Put it together. Get that vote going. Kick Michigan and USC in the crotch simultaneously and protect the Big Ten for the next 20 years because that protects the Big 12 for the next 20 years. I'm all about it. Let's go. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.